Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Blind. Main scenario quest. A simple plan. I'm sure it's going to be fine. They just keep on giving us these single bits of food. It's really taking up a lot of inventory space here. Minfilia's never been one to hesitate when it comes to asking others for aid. And by others, we mean me. As you may recall, Isart used the Aetheryte in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystal she stole from House Fortem's caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint, but if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped. And stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Aethernet and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aetherite to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aetherite upon arrival, a reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Regin, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why we've called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise, a colleague of ours who is currently en route to Griffin's Toll from Charlene. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. Since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I'm certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let's make our way to the northern gates and await her coming. Okay. A professional is on the way. Let's see. Just need to head just outside Revenant's Toll here. Coming in a carriage. Carriages to Revenant's Toll haven't been doing so hot, so. As long as you don't got crystals, I guess. It's probably gonna be fine. Or don't I? Okay. Somewhere to the west, they say. There is still the whole western Quithus Highlands we haven't been to. Might be somewhere in the middle between there, though. Evermore, it's looking like places we're going to get to eventually. I mean, it's on the map, you would think so. Whether or not any of these particular locations were released in later expansions or something. Unknown. This is the northern gate. Front fence, I guess. Yeah, sure. Destination with Minfilia. And now, we wait. We have successfully waited. Wow. And here they are. That's just the carriage driver, probably. Here's some people.
Minfilia, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and to thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Charlian scholar and an authority on Aetherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah. Also, the capturing the souls thing. We need to work on that too. We got a lot of things that we need to deal with. Many things at a time. Many things at a time. Come. Let us return to the Rising Stones at once. Then we have much to discuss. Alright. Whee! The speed at which we bust through some doors. It's good that they open automatically. My goodness. Back to the solar. No big surprises there.
Moon! Gods, it's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Jarlian to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of Aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me. I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it then, your missing Aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an Aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate a second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second Aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the Aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first Aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics.
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the Aetheryte.
Yes.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, Aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an Aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
Like opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the Aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
Alright.
That's the spirit. Let's roll the dice.
I'm sure we'll be fine. Cool. And here's our broth. Quest complete. Huh. The instruments of our deliverance. Here, still level 50 quests here. My goodness. A plan has been devised, and Minfilia would have it carried out without further delay. Indeed. I've already informed Afinad of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Brita described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He has also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you've done on our behalf, Arctic, and I have faith you will return to us as you always have. Okay. We really do continue to try our best to stop the primals from being summoned, despite the constant failure in that regard. It definitely would be better to stop them before they are summoned. Would be a good idea. Worth pursuing, at any rate. And in this situation, we still need a way to get over there, either way. Because if they summon the primal and just hangs out over there, I mean, it's almost less of a problem, just stays away, doing its own thing. But, you know. Snowcloak is now here. He is at the other spot. Garthus. Can't go there. This is Western Highlands. Doesn't have a connection point anywhere here, but... Oh. We will see. We will see. Yep. And then there's always the extreme and hard mode and all the higher level versions of all the primals that keep on happening too. We got a couple other quests we could finish up if we wanted to do extreme versions of things. Necessary? Questionable. It's an option though. We got a lot to do still. So on the list here. These ones. This one. Anyways. Let's look at the bow quest we're not gonna do. We really could just if we wanted to. Do most of the things. Okay. Let's get over to Snowcloak here. Good. Let us fly over there. Look how fates this. A little 40. Nope. Not to worry about that right now. One thing we could do at some point would be look into more of the hunting log stuff. We've already done all 50 here. We do have Order of the Twin Adder, which isn't complete. So that's something we could do at some point. Up and on. Good to see you, Arctic. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of in Oda, even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I mean to say, the others are waiting for us at the Aetheryte. After you, Zion. This is to go through the dungeon, which we already cleared out. So that's fine. Here it is. There, it's ready. All right. Ha! It worked, I think. Try tuning into the Aetheryte now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. Or recreate the beacon. Whichever way. We'll do what we can. We have done all we can, Arctic. Now, for now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If by the grace of the 12 you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. That's the plan. I'm about as prepared as I'm gonna be here. I don't know. Yeah. You think they're gonna notice that their beacon has been reconstructed in some fashion? Just break it again while you're traveling? That also sounds wildly dangerous. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Iceheart to our plans. That's what I was saying. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual, and if she succeeds, we'll have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, so I encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Murita's experiment. Others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he has a message for you from Sir Emmerich. Okay. What's up? Sir Emmerich regrets that he could not be here in person, and asks that I read to you this letter. Ahem. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat, yet in our hour of need, it is not her knights who stand poised to defend her. Artech, warrior of light, savior of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you choose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May home bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. I am hard and accessible. Regular duty. Okay. Confront Shiva in Amphitheater. Hard. Yeah. I specifically said that was available in just duty and not duty support. Yep. How random that Snowcloak was in the options there. Oh well. Okay. So down here. Amphitheater. For as long as their nation has warred with Travania, there have been Ishgardians who instead chose to ally themselves with the dragons. Shiva is said to have been among the first, hence why the heretics revere her as a saint. The Iceheart and her followers intend to summon Shiva with the crystals they have stolen his plane. Is unprecedented act even possible? So that Ishgard is not, if not the entire realm, is in grave danger. If we prove to everyone that you can just summon powerful beasts and recreations of anything you want just by having crystals and thinking about it, it's not great. Okay. Continues to be a huge problem here. Oh boy. Average wait time, about 5 minutes. It's an 8-person situation here. Well, that's alright. Full party and all that. It's in the trials section. It's probably going to be pretty simple here. There's extreme modes. Oh boy. What are the requirements here? It's looking like level 50, average I'm level 80. That's fine. You're currently at 114 Black Mage here. Wildly ahead of other options. Well, we could switch to the other level 50 classes we have. Swap out some of the new, better jewelry that we've gotten. I'll get it up a little bit. Not doing too shabby in the armor department here, though. It's all worked out quite nicely. But anyways, we will see. In 5 minutes, maybe. There we go. Probably. Yep. Nope. 1 tank. 7 minutes. Close enough. Light party. Full party. There you go. Looks like we made it through at least. That's good.
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down. We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers and sisters once more. Oh, Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
Alright. There we go. Shiva. Not so surprised. Anyways, we started blasting. The cycle here ends now. I see. Nice guys. Time for some AoE action. Potentially. There's enough in this pile here. Oh. Half health. Okay. Very icy. What are you doing now? Run around in a circle. Okay. Frozen. Turns them like dust in the wind. We froze a little bit. I've had more frozen than that. Oh, a lot happened here. This way? Something like that. I see. Interrupted. Okay. Very good. Oh. Exit. No rewards or anything. 3,000 XP or something. Definitely a lot more experience in the dungeon style encounters. There you go. I apologize.
Fool. Blind, bloody fool. You of all people should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence. Mine is the righteous cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers. And they are no less ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. Warrior of Light, redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the Keeper of the Lake. See with eyes unclouded. Do not squander Mother's gift.
And so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
We're gonna summon a godlike creature that corrupts everything around it. I'm sure it's gonna work this time, they say. By the 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? It was the whole thing. I started what? And you're certain about that, are you? Japanians are skilled with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. Just that I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No? Fair enough, I was only asking. Oh, that's complete. Oh. The road thus traveled. Umbrina remains unconvinced that you have not sustained a head injury. Fair. If you ask me, there's naught to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the Rising Stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. Ah, but before that, you best pay a visit to Whitebrim Front to speak with Alphanod. He is probably worried sick about you. That or he's busy playing at politics with the Ashgardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you, hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. To Whitebrim Front. Continue to not have an ether right here. I don't feel necessary to put extra aim to start. Ah. Okay. Slowly but surely getting towards another level here. How does that compare? Or is it 54? Off and up. There he is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for all of us when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. It was a wild time in there. And we were too late to prevent the summoning. but not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration. And one for which we have Arctic to thank. Yes, you're right. Of course, Sir Emeric. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. There is the matter of Iceheart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Jomalt, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenant's Toll. 3rd time's the charm. Of that I have no doubt. Well, we did defeat the heretics, so maybe it will be fine. I take it these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from House Portem's caravan? Less the crystals, which comprise the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. On an unrelated note, Arctic, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? It is not for my benefit. Certain Lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. Took half a dozen knights to restrain him, I'm told. Alright. Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. Okay. Camp Dragonhead does have one. Okay. I've been getting paid from these quests too. See if we're getting close to unlocking more places where we could potentially buy some stuff. Limitations. We got them. Whee. What were you thinking, Arctic? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? Yeah, that's what I was expecting, honestly. And then engaging the abomination in mortal combat, by the fury, Arctic. 'Tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I have been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was, forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you're here now, that's what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Emeric wished to have words with you and Master Alpha and I in private. He waits us in the intercessory. Over there. Guard, outside. Secret meeting room. Around the corner. Outside. Ring, sir. Shall show you in at once. Yep.
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nautalon.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See decreed that we were to observe, and that military action should be taken only in self-defense. All things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's Toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard-Zoma could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Choose your next words carefully.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall one of our shipments, pray inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
That's some progress, at least. I'll take it. Moving towards more working together and dealing with problems here. Oh. Often not, have we? Formed with reason to celebrate, often it looks rather grim. Eyes unclouded. We seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. Necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Carlian Empire believes that primals are an insufferable menace, but their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then, if it becomes known that it's not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that can summon primals, but are civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. I speak unadvisedly. Come, Arctic. It's better we continue this conversation in Mordona. Calm. Just a pile. Just having a pile of crystals. A pile of crystals and a dream. Not great. Not ideal. Calm. Problematic. Door, please. Even the door is something that needs to spawn in. Wild stuff out here. Okay. Everybody else, get in here. Problems. We got problems.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Kurthis, assuming you're ready to speak of it.
Yeah, about
Excellent.
that.
I shall summon the others at once.
I have expected news and bad news.
Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Yep.
Master Louisoir's writings make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
As certain as we can be that good King Mogulmog the 12th was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Oh, pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you. Hear, feel, think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well. If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth. Do you think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake? And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
Midgard-Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well-founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard-Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
Complete. Quest complete. Okay. Next one is back for them. Yeah, here. Open cover 110. Not bad. Okay. Sectors of developments. Alright. That is that dealt with for now. Extreme mode coming soon, maybe. I don't know. Not too worried about that. Hopefully they put extreme modes in the main quest line here, but we'll worry about that if we get to it. If it comes to that. At any rate, it is now time to move back to the other problem we were dealing with. Finish more things up. Continue to the next situation. Next time. Goodbye.